Hello and welcome back to the GorillaBiker, and today what we're going to do real quick is track prep the Z900RS, which honestly just means taking off some tape, replacing some fuses, which I will show you actually in case anyone has an interest in that, and then just pretty much taking it back on the road. I'm not going to put back on the wing mirrors though, because that might take too long. This video is about a dilemma I have with this bike, and you know, I've made a video previously about is it a good track bike. I'll leave a link above my head if you want to watch that, but pretty much that's where this is coming from, kind of what's next, you know, for me and the Z. And I don't think I'm going to sell it before anyone gets worried. You know, that's not what this video is about. I know there's a lot of people who really love this bike, who love watching this bike, and you know, me included. So we're gonna try and avoid that. Just so you can see what I'm doing next. I'm just de-taping everything. I literally had this out like 2 days ago, and I did a race school course with N2. It was great. Really enjoyed it. Thanks Dave again for doing it. I felt kind of bad for him because, you know, obviously he didn't get to do his sessions, but I am glad that I got to do it. But yeah, all we're going to be doing is like putting my plate back on, obviously, pumping up the tires to road pressures, and I'll tell you what they are cold as well when I do that. And yeah, come over here and I'll show you the fuses. So the two fuses you have to pull is this first one here, and then there's a 15 amp fuse that's marked head. That's your headlight, so I pull that one. And then also a 7.5 which is marked brake and horn, and that's your brake light, because you're supposed to unplug them or whatever so they don't melt the tape onto your lights, but that's literally all you have to do. It's that easy. And this is now a D-track prepped Z900RS, which honestly, part of the reason I wanted to use like a street bike like this kind of for as long as I could. Well, honestly, I wanted to do it forever, which I'll explain when we get outside and on the road, but that hasn't really come to pass, so yeah, we'll talk about it. So the front was 30 cold, and I put it back up to 36. I don't know, can you see that rear tire, but it actually did cold tear on me this time. And the rear was at about 26 cold. Just put that back up to 40. Basically, what I'm going to be talking about in this video is why I initially wanted to use the Z900RS as my street and track bike, why that did kind of work, and why it's not going to work anymore. So yeah, if you want to hear about that, stay tuned. So we're on our way for fuel. I hope we don't get rained on, but we might. That is just a part of life, you know. Hopefully we don't though. But yeah, so I mean, we're gonna get fuel. To start off though, I mean, why are you leaning back like that, good sir? There we go, that's better. Why did I want to go for like a street bike that could also be used as a track bike? What you just saw, it takes 10 minutes to kind of prep it. I hate not having mirrors. I really hate not having mirrors. I don't know how people do this all the time. Like, genuinely, do you not want to know what's kind of behind you, you know? But yeah, so, sorry. $14 for anyone who's wondering for a 1 bar nearly empty tank. So cheap to run motor bicycles. Part of why I love them so much. I want to go down here because there's like a new housing estate I just want to have a look at. But yeah, so why street and track bike? Ease of preparation, and also kind of like, you know, I had this on the track 2 days ago on Saturday, absolutely trashed it around the place, had a fantastic time, and you know, now it's straight back onto the road by just adjusting tire pressures and putting 2 fuses back in. You know what I mean? It's pretty phenomenal in my opinion to be able to do that. It's kind of like what bikes are about. That's a cool house. Oh, that's the show house. I mean, they're nice, but they're so expensive, you know what I mean? For, again, just houses that, in my opinion, are too close together. I don't know why especially in North Carolina, there's so much space. Anyway, I'm getting distracted. So yeah, street and track bike. I just, that has always really appealed to me. The whole, you know, take it to the track, have a blast, and then, you know, just ride it to work the next day, which I absolutely could have done with this bike. You know, you kind of have to have the right tires. I do have Dunlop Q5S's on here right now. Are they the right tires? I don't know. They're very good tires. Nice little green area in the middle. I mean, it's a pretty nice estate as estates go. I do like the green in the middle. Not enough places have stuff like that around here, I don't think. Let's go down this way and have a look around the green. Oh, I don't like those though. There's no parking. I don't like that. No. Don't like that. No garages, no parking. But you know, the Q5S's. When we stop somewhere, we will stop somewhere. I'll show you the tire wear after one track day on the rear. In 2 track days, I went through 2 rears. Part of what helped me make this decision, to be honest. But another thing that I did do is with my friend Tom. Tom is either a really good influence or really bad influence, depending on how you look at it. But we did the race license with N2. Which Dave was our instructor. Thanks, Dave. Pretty great to get that done, and I passed. So now I can apply for a WERA and I can't remember the other letters. 4 letter starts with an A. Licenses, and then we can look at doing some endurance races and maybe some sprint races, which I need to get a bike for. So part of that is, you know, if you've been paying attention, I have said I always wanted to do some races. I'm sure there's probably a class this bike can enter in, but the thing is, it has its limitations. You know, as a track bike, this bike has its limitations, and you know, it's something that I bought this bike because I love the Z900RSs, and I bought this bike because I also wanted to ride it on the road. And the only way for me to really kind of make this what I would want on the track, something that I can lean enough, you're severely limited by your lean angle by the stock pegs. Whee! And that's something I didn't want to kind of continue to contend with. It was one of the things I don't want to continue to contend with. But that is actually the biggest thing is, oh, it's totally gonna rain. Is the, you know, the stock peg geometry, because I have very large feet being as tall as I am. And if you're new here, I'm about 6'6", 7". I weigh about 20 stone, 280 pounds, 120 something kg. And yeah, my feet are hitting the ground, like, no matter where I try to get my feet. And again, it's a foot space thing, you know, my feet are just large. And there's really nowhere for me to put them to get away from the ground. So that obviously leaves me with the option of going looking at rear sets. And this is where, honestly, I'll mention them again. Hippo drones kind of really changed how I was thinking about this. Because, you know, I would have to remove the rear foot pegs and, you know, the hangers for them. That's not a big deal. Not overly concerned about that, because if I lifted the pegs up too much higher, I'd end up hitting those. I'm not overly concerned about that, but I think it would affect how it is as a road bike. And this was predominantly bought as a road bike. I've done three track days on it. 1 unmodified and 2 modified. It is definitely more capable with the couple of modifications I've done. And if you want to see those, go look up the maintenance and mods playlist for this bike. Again, I'll leave a link up there, and you know, you can really have a look at kind of what I was doing, and what I suppose what my intent was, what I was trying to do with this bike. And I think largely I achieved it. I mean, if you want to just have a street bike that is also really fun on the track, this bike could absolutely be for you. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying that for what I want to do next, this isn't going to be that. So that is kind of where my dilemma comes in, is, you know, do I buy another bike? Yes. But then we fall into the, you know, I already have quite a few bikes. And honestly, I've said this before. I've said that I think going forward, 2 bikes just for my use, I would be absolutely fine with like a road bike and a fun bike, you know, a daily bike and a fun bike. If I had just this and the V-Strom, I would be quite happy with +1 for the track. And that kind of leaves the Valkyrie at a loose end because, and don't worry, I'm still going to finish the Valkyrie. I have lots of parts bought for it. It was just my back was stopping me from working on it. So we are actually, there is already stuff filmed for that will be coming out soon that you're going to see. So you know that is happening, but then it kind of runs into, what do I do with the Valkyrie? Do I keep it? Do I ride it? Which I would really like to do, or do I sell it? Because I just don't know how I'm going to ride it enough to warrant keeping it, if that makes sense. And again, this is always an open forum for discussion. Please do leave your thoughts and opinions in the comments. Everything is welcome. Constructive criticism is welcome. We'll actually talk about a bit of destructive criticism here in a second, and about this bike. Which I, you know, person was right, but they were also tried to give the information in an asshole manner, so they were never going to get a good response from me. I will say these tires, these Q5S's, absolutely fantastic for grip, but just not from longevity. I mean, if you and that's the other thing, actually, I will be doing a review on them, but if you're a beginner track rider and looking for a tire that'll give you lots and lots of confidence and you don't need tire warmers for and stuff, it's definitely these. So, you know, back to another thing, you know, is I don't want to be putting slicks and stuff onto this, because then I'd probably get a second set of wheels for it so I can still have tires mounted and ready for the road, so I'm not chopping and changing them. And don't get me wrong, I can chop and change them with the Rabaconda, but you know, that's just extra time and extra hassle, and then I probably won't use this bike on the road much. I would just default even more to the V-Strom, which obviously is not, it's not what we're looking to do, right? So that's also a big part of it, is like, get something that is predominantly for the track, and that I can also race in classes on, which would be really cool, and keep this just as my fun bike, and or, you know, if funds don't allow that, maybe sell this. And that would absolutely break my heart. I really don't want to sell it, but it's something that, you know, if it was to come up that I really needed to sell it in order to kind of achieve my dreams of racing, you know, I might have to do that. But again, that is going to be a kind of a last option, because I really don't want to sell it. I have this now set up so nicely for me. I love riding it. You know, all the springs are done for me. It has plenty of power. It's just, this is just like nigh on the perfect kind of fun bike for me. And the thing is, I also want to bring this on trips, and you know, chopping and changing it from track setups and stuff has kind of stopped me doing that. So yeah, the next bike then, what I want to get is an SV650. I don't really care if it's not track prepped. I can do that. But yeah, what I am looking at is an SV650. So that's the kind of the rabbit hole I'm going down next. Let's go this way, actually, because I know there's a pizza place down here. Not that I'm going to get pizza, but Toaster and myself just got pizza from a place, and she said it's straight down here, or maybe she went to the right. We'll find out in a second. Historic, iconic. Oh yeah, it's this place. I was in here on the V-Strom. Oh yeah, look at this, off-roading on a Z. That counts. We just forged a stream like a $1 million bogan. Yeah, so this is where Toaster was talking about, is here. There's apparently a pizza place in this new apartment complex, which is pretty cool. If you were to live here and have access to nice tasty pizza. I don't know where she saw it, but apparently she said it was here. She said the nice new apartments. So it must be here somewhere. Ooh, Grangeons. The only thing is, I remember when we moved over here first and we were looking at Grangeons, and you know, people were saying, oh no, if you rent a garage for far too much money a month, you actually also cannot use it for working on stuff. And I was like, then what the hell is the point of the garage if you can't work on stuff? Like, what is the use? But yeah, so that's my news, that I did the race certification thing, which it wasn't difficult, so I'm not going to say I'm like super proud of myself for doing it or anything. It wasn't difficult. Anyone can do it. Anyone can go do that race race class thing, race school thing, and you can pass it, and then you can get into racing. So you also should. And honestly, since starting doing some track days with N2, been very impressed. Nice people, friendly people. And again, that's not a slight and evolve. I'm quite a shy person, which always surprises people. But yeah, I don't really like go out of my way to talk to coaches and stuff. Chris Gray in Mondello, Bike to Bike, he would talk to me first, and that's how I know him so well. And he's a great guy. Chris Gray Racing. I'll leave a link for his profile if you want to see some cool race stuff. But you know, that's kind of where I go. And same with my buddy Tom, who hopefully I'll be doing some racing with. We kind of just ended up parking beside each other at track day, and that's how we are now friends. Because I wasn't too scared to talk to him. So, quick look at the rear on the left. So I don't know, can you see that? But there's the wear bar. And this is why I'm fine using these on the street, because there's loads of meat left in the middle. But that wear bar there on the left. And I tried everything. You know, I posted on Track Day Addicts forum and the N2 forum. I got advice on these. The front is actually fine. The front I feel like I get another day out of, at least. Front's okay. Okay, I'm at the wear bar on the left. It's a predominantly left-hand track. But yeah, like I said, all the mods I've made to this, I do not regret any of them. It's now a really capable, really fun street bike, but just not right for the track. Peg geometry wise, and like I said, if I was to put rear sets onto it, 2 Hippo drones as point, I'd probably make it kind of suck for the street for me. Because yeah, look, I'd be up here. Yeah, I'd probably have to take those off, and it's just hassle that I don't want, to be honest. And also, an SV650 as a track bike is, not that it's going to be more capable than this, it's just going to be more than this, if that makes sense. Like, SV650s are very capable bikes. There's lots of parts available for them. Lots of people have already done the track bike thing with them, so I'm not going to be reinventing the wheel. Would I love to make this into a track bike? Yeah, but then I'd have to go doing clip-ons, and I think it would change what the bike is too much for me. And like I said, that's not a bad thing. Changing the bike is not a bad thing. It's just, it's not what I want to do with it, if that makes sense, you know? So, SV650 in my future. Maybe I've sent a message to one guy who is selling one for reasonable money, so hopefully that one can work out. We'll see. And yeah, then you might get to see some races on the channel. Is that something you're looking forward to? Is that something you're interested in? You know, seeing a complete amateur, a complete noob do some races? Or is that something that you have no interest in? And let me know as well what you think of, you know, my reasoning. That just that I think if I was to make this more of a track bike, I would ruin it for the street, and probably ruin my enjoyment of it on, you know, days like today where I just come home from work and I want to make a video and I just pootle around my local area. You know, I still have the grip if I do go and find some twisty roads, and I have lots and lots of power, more power than I really need ever on the street. You know, I can still do tours on it. I can strap my Krieg onto the back. It's just kind of a perfect bike, you know, and that's what I don't want to ruin that. And another big thing is I don't feel like I can push myself as hard as I want to on this bike to go faster, because it's a bike I really don't want to crash. Like, I would be sad if I crashed this one, because it is, like I said, it's been a dream bike. And don't get me wrong, I'm completely okay with the risk of that. Like, you bring a bike to the track, you have to be prepared to crash it, because you might make a mistake, someone else might make a mistake, there might be something greasy on the ground, you could 100% go down. So you kind of are always mentally prepared for that if you do go to the track, I feel. I mean, I always am anyway. That's why I was so, when I crashed the GSX-R, I was so like, you know, that sucks, it happened, and we move on from it, we fix it and we move on. I would do the exact same thing with this. That's something. And by the way, Tom, you know who you are. I'm riding around these streets for you, buddy, because you said you're interested in them, so here you go. American streets. Oh. This one's a bit bumpy. I think I went straight down here before, so we'll do that. This is Clayton again, by the way. And that's the park in the middle of it. And that's a sculpture, in case you don't know what a sculpture is. And then I think this is the town hall here. I don't actually know. I think it is. Yeah? Is it? Town of Clane, yeah, there you go. It's the town hall. I don't know what that is says. Let's go read it. So this little sculpture is called New Dawn. It was made by Sam Spezia. It's made from Corten steel and paint. New Dawn depicts hand rising, hopeful and striving, fabricated with tough industrial Corten steel. Nevertheless tries to overcome that weight and reach for the heavens, inspiring viewers to not stop, to persist, and to reach for beauty. Actually, that is kind of a nice message, I suppose, isn't it? I mean, actually, kind of topical, because I mean that's pretty much what I'm doing, I suppose, is, you know, going for a new thing, you know. I mean, I could just settle, be happy with what I have, not try to improve a skill that I really want to improve, which is going fast on bikes. You know, I could accept what lots of people always tell me, that I'm too big and too heavy to do this stuff. And I think, you know, a strong central finger of the paw shall be raised to all of those folks. Because there are lots of big guys who race. Could I lose some weight? Absolutely. But honestly, that's no one else's business. That is between me, myself and I, and Toaster, of course. If I was to put on a lot of unhealthy weight someday, I would hope she would call it out. But again, literally no one's business but ours. So, you know, if that's something that you really feel the urgent need to comment, don't. Because I just think you're a dick. Oh, destructive criticism, I remembered. So one thing I do want to point out is the actual brake pads on this are not the correct brake pads. They're for a Z900, not the Z900RS. Cycle Gear supplied the wrong ones to me, even though I very clearly said RS. Mistakes happen. You know, we're not going to get upset by that. These things literally happen. And the front ones are fit perfectly, by the way. They're absolutely fine. I'm not concerned about them. I'm not going to change them. However, the rear ones, which I did not notice at the time of fitting, but they don't clip in just right into the retainer springs. So I am going to change those. And the only reason I actually noticed and realized the person who commented that was correct. Ooh. Oopsie. Silly Michael. Everyone cuts out, by the way. I'm leaving that in the video because lots of new people get upset that they cut out. I don't give a shit. It happens to everyone, no matter how long they've been riding. Especially since I need to adjust my idle again on this, I think. That's kind of all I have. Oh yeah, the destructive criticism. So yeah, he commented on it, but he basically commented saying, "Did you not even notice those codes are for a Z900RS? Maybe next time you should just give your bike to the shop." To which I replied saying, nah, pretty much. It was a longer comment, but my essential gist was, nah, I'm good. I'm going to keep using it. And also, you know, it was not my mistake. Was it my mistake for not triple verifying everything? Yes. But also, I shouldn't have to do that. You should be able to trust a motorcycle supply shop. That's their literal job. However, we'll check from now on. And that person was right. And the thing is, anyone who's ever left comments like correcting me on stuff and done it in a nice way. Oh, smell a weed from that car in front of us. Nice. Done it in a nice way, you know. Not only have I made the amendment, as I am doing now, I have also thanked them. But if you come across like a dick, I'm not going to thank you. And the person who made that comment, you're a dick. That's the kind of comment that puts people off working on their own stuff. Thankfully, I have been around long enough and worked on my bikes long enough to know that everyone makes mistakes. Again, I don't feel like that was my mistake. I don't feel like I should have caught that. I shouldn't have had to catch that, I'll put it that way. But, you know, these things happen both to the people supplying me the parts and to me fitting them, not spotting it. Such is life. We live and we learn. So, that's it. I'm going to head home now. Do my U-turn and head down the road. And, yeah, let me know what you think. SV650, some races. Keeping this as a mainly street bike. And the very faint possibility of having to sell it, but I don't think that's going to come to pass if that's something you're concerned about, so don't worry too much about that. And yeah, let me know if you watch. Thank you very much for watching, as always. If you have any questions, leave them in the comments below, and until next time, thank you very much for watching. Adios. outro crew, if you were to pick one kind of starter race bike that you could enter most things on, what would it be? What would you personally pick as your track bike? And what do you think of the SV650? That's what I'm going to go for. Bye, outro crew.